Every sky has a different color, but my sky was pitch black. At the age of 4, my mother had told me that my father had become a star. In search of not just the essence of him, but from there onwards, the lifelong search began, not for him, but for meaning, light, and creation. My journey has been one of learning to care. Care for myself, my growth, and my purpose. From that care came creation, and a creation of strength, resilience, self-love, and a story that may just remind you of your own quiet power. As I stand here before you today on this beautiful platform, I also look back, only happy to share the simple life lessons which helped me in anchoring through my growing years. Born and brought up to elite elderly parents, I was brought up at an era which was in the 70s in the vibrant city of Mumbai. From the outside, my life looked completely perfect. The huge home, the cars, the health, and all the comforts that a child could ask for were mine. But from the inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. And you know, the one thing that you really desire and want the most is that which you don't have. I had everything a child would want. However, there was no presence. So, it was not just me who was there alone in that huge home. I had a sibling, my brother. My brother and me, we both doted on a single parent who was very busy keeping the family business together and holding the name of the family in such a way where she wanted to pass it on to my brother when he came of age. So going back a little, my mother was 35 when she married, only to have kids. Rather, may I say, to have boys. And there I was, the second born. My mother, I was told, went into depression. Little did I know that I had that effect too at that time, because all of today I carry a title of being the happiness ambassador in my given professional capacity. And I do know someone up there. My mom smiles down upon me. Moving forward, my brother was tucked away to the boarding school, and I, the docile, silent kid, was kept back home. Of course, she had someone to come back to, and she needed that. And I think it was in those years an evolution of being a mother, a mothering feeling built in me. Lesson number 1, kindness and care is inbuilt. We are all born with it. So the era that I grew up in, that is the 70s, was a phase when we actually listened to our parents and our elders, and I, for one, was a kid who abided by all the rules. It was the era when we were transitioning from the black and white TV to the color television. It was the time when said cheese, we would look straight at the camera and smile. And it was even those times when we only went out to eat as a form of celebration. You know what I mean? That was the time that I grew up in, where every word of the teacher was God's truth. That growing phase of my life, I found a haven in music and sport. I thought I'd found my dream life. I excelled in music by getting a distinction in the Trinity College of London Music, and at the same time, in my athletic feat, constantly collecting all the accolades, awards, and the prizes in the form of medals for years on end. That, however, impacted my academic score, and so it was pulled out of my schedule. Everything my mother did was perfectly all right with me. Though in silence, sometimes I would think there's a pang that I couldn't relate to, and that was of deep sadness. But I was okay with it. Moving forward, I realized there is a duality and a multiplicity in personalities. Sorry, Mama. Every time she lost her cool was my mantra to escape. And at the same time, I caught myself realizing that she was in so much pain that she needed to remove her gussa, and I would just stand there before her and let her vent it out. Sometimes it hurt a little too much. So there was this room called my father's bathroom, called the daddy's bathroom, where the two walls met. This little child would go there, hide her face, and knew that she was being hugged, held, and understood. And my truth lied only there. Lesson number 2, strength is not loud. Sometimes it cries behind closed doors. My mother was not just a one-man army, brave, courageous, fierce. I learned from her how to hold courage in your heart only through observation. I learned from her the values that she held as being a protector of the family. I learned from her how to hold the courtesies with the helpers, and her generosity. What do I say about it? I learned so much through observing her. I loved her deeply. My mother was all of that, but still I knew she was broken, tired, and human. Lesson number 3, being there in spite of and not because of. Loving in spite of it all and not because it is convenient. I had chosen and decided I would never cry in front of her. Not because nobody told me not to. It was a choice that I made because I love my mother so dearly. Moving forward, life just took a storm. You get into that phase. Some of the youngsters sitting behind there can relate to what I'm saying. You're building your social circle. And that's when I started moving into my friends' homes. And when I saw the unknowing unfairness stare stuck into my mind map, that's the time I realized, oh my gosh, what am I going through? Though I chose to keep my truth and my reality hidden away, tucked in some place, and I chose not to allow any words to define my truth, I also did realize that while in the process of it all, my growing years of teenage reality, which was an agonizing phase, was colossally different from my peers. And at that point in time, I made up my mind, no matter what happens, no matter how much the sounds of ugly failure that rang into my ear constantly, keeping me away from all the opportunities that came my way, that I shunned because I was shy and scared, I would still be there because my mission was to protect my mother and my brother. So my dear friends, this little input as to what exactly my life was all about way back then is only for a deeper understanding of the lessons that I learned from there onwards. Lesson number 4. Creation is not outside of us. Creation is in the moment that you choose that you want to bring about that change. It's all in your hands. So the little life lessons as I move forward through my growth that I would like to share with you is, there's a thin line and a very fine line between will and desire, decision and action. And in that fine line defines everything that you become. You do not wait for anyone to come and hold your hand specifically when you are so passionate about your growth, healing, and purpose. You care to create. You care to take those steps forward. And you find your own courage within you, not outside of you. Moving forward, I did realize as I took every leap ahead in my life, I was not alone. There was a power and a strength of sorts that was within me. Because the world that I saw from the outside and the meaning I gave it to my mind, it was all being created here. And the minute I decided to change how I looked at the world, my entire world changed. It's all in our hands. I also did realize, looking at nature, deep thinker that I thought I was in those days, just as an acorn grows into that magnificent oak tree, so is it with you and me. We are vastness. We are magnificent. It is just a matter of time for you to understand and tap into your energy. Every heartbreak is a gift that helps you see the light that shines on from inside out. And with that light, you take those strong leaps forward to break that glass ceiling, only to find a beautiful version of the bigger you that exists and is already there. You look outside for some hero, the hero lies right within you. You look outside to come to hold your hand. My dear friends, take a moment, assess and look at yourself. And look at yourself keenly. You'll find the hero right there looking back at you in the reflection of a mirror. As I grew forward, I did not realize how sounds of music and sports came back to me in the form of fitness. Little realize that I became, at the age of 19, an assistant fitness trainer with Talwarkars, and I got the opportunity of being selected for training the Miss India pageants and the national swimming champions. I was all of 19. And that, my dear friends, taught me. You just need that someone to see a number 10 on you when you have tagged yourself unworthy. The doors of floodgates, so to say, of opportunity just opened up in front of me, and there was no looking back. At the age of 21, I started my own fitness studio called Be Natural, and from there onwards, I realized lesson number 5, the magic of movement. And I cannot speak of that unless, of course, you want to experience it. Do you want to experience it with me? Do you want to experience it with me? All right, so to this column of row, I say clap once. And to this column, I would say, so when I do this, we hear. When I do this, we hear. Are we ready?
Yes.
Can you do it with a smile? Here we go. Here, go, go. All my youngsters at the back, can you put your hands up in the air and do that? Let's go. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. When you change your physiology, your psychology shifts and changes. You become another person altogether. You find that bigger you in you. So I ardently request all the children out here, all the youngsters, pick it up from here. Make magic movement mantra a part of your life and get going to find the magnanimous you that stays right there. Because when you align your energies, lesson number 6, so does universe open the doors of abundance and opportunities that will just come your way. Magnetically, you pull that towards you. As I move forward, I cannot thank the angels in my life, my mentors, my friends, my family, but of course, someone who never left my hand and still travels with me where I go, my books. Learn, 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 learn. Learning never stops. That was something that made me grow magnanimously. My doors of the world opened, though I lived in a huge home in quietude. In that silence, a streak of creativity kept getting stronger, and that would not be possible without all the learning and the books that I read. Today, my husband and my 2 sons are the wind beneath my wings. They cheer me on and they help me to find my light. And they always have said this beautifully. Ma, you're so elegantly wasted. Waste no more time. And I just do that. Every sky has a dark cloud. Through the dark cloud and the storms, I chose to create because I cared so deeply to build my own rainbow. Lesson number 7 that I leave you with, my dear friends. Your sky is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to have the storms, the clouds, the stars, the rainbows, because that's what makes it yours.